CodeMBS, okay, in Sipna College of Engineering Technology. Hope so all of you uh, hope so all of you familiar with me. That again I introduce myself. My name is Viplo Soli, that Professor Viplo Soli. Uh, Pass out from the same college, that is, and graduated my in electronics and telecommunication, that is 2009 batch. I completed my ME in a digital electronics in the same. Next, from 1st of September to 2010 to till, I'm working as an assistant professor, and currently I'm pursuing my PhD in electronics. Okay, so today I discuss, that is Arduino, that is basics of Arduino. Hope so all of you heard about this Arduino at second year level. Most of these second year and third year, yes. I think मैं language English, Hindi, Marathi continue करूँगा for you people. So hope so all of you from second year, third year, and I think final year का कोई नहीं है, second and third year, and for most of these from second year. Yeah, as your consent, you are very much interested to uh, take a training from college itself in the basics of Arduino. Yes, so very interesting topic. Let me tell you, this is what in our electronics and telecommunication, not particular to electronics and telecommunication, in all our aspect, we can do anything in our that Arduino. Yes, this is what very important and what very interesting thing. Let me tell you, we will discuss that one by one. When we are actually entering in the topic and our discussion. Okay, this is the our first day. So again, I welcome all of you to this 1 week training program that is based on your basics of Arduino. So I just share one PPT with you. Okay, that first day. Is it visible, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. As our already I told you, this is our 1 week training program on basics of Arduino in association with CodeMBS. That already we will tell you, that is basics or the topics which we are covered in our training, that is 1 week training. This is what introduction to first day, that is what introduction to Arduino. Next, how we can installation process, that how to install that Arduino, that software, whatever that, this is basically that software and hardware, that hardware things, that different types of Arduinos, that why we are particular use that Arduino, or different.
सर
Yes,
स्क्रीन
yes,
नहीं दिख रही है,
hello.
स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं है
All of you visible, that screen is visible or not? All of
सर
you, please reply.
Visible,
That screen is visible or not?
visible. Yes,
विजिबल
sir.
सर
Sir, visible, sir. Visible.
Yes, yes, Sayuk. Yes, Sayukta, I think check your network availability. Okay.
ओके
थोड़ा रेंज में रहिए तो आपको विजिबल होगी
सर दिख रही है अभी
संयुक्ता.
सर दिख रही है
बाकी सबको अवेलेबल है, बाकी सबको विजिबल है.
सर दिख रही है
Yes. Okay,
सर
thank
इज
you.
विजिबल
So next is what, that introduction to Arduino, that installation, and we can say that Arduino Ide, why it is Ide, what are the difference between that Arduino and Ide. Next, what we'll discuss, that basics of embedded programming. Next, what interfacing sensors and mini different, and the last, at the last day of your, what we can say, that 1 week training, you are able to design or a simple, what we can say, that a mini project as your second year level. I 100% assured you कि आपको एक लेवल आ जाएगी कि आपको एक नॉलेज आ जाएगा, सो दैट आप एक मिनी प्रोजेक्ट खुद का बेस्ड ऑन योर Arduino आप खुद का डिजाइन कर पाओगे. दैट इज व्हाट द बेसिक ऑफ Arduino, which is very important, or the interesting thing we can say, that in this first day in our training, this is our introductory part. Today we discuss I'll engage your introductory part of Arduino. From next, today or co-partner, or we can say that, or coding from the team of codems, that Yash Mehta and the Sushil Mode will engage the another part of your this training. Okay, so today I start with our introductory part. Okay, again I ask you that is it visible and audible, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Visible and
Sir,
also audible.
Yes. So the first, that is your day first, we can say that this is your introduction of Arduino. So very well, or the when we are thinking about, or when we are heard any new thing, okay, or when we are interested to learn a new thing, जब भी हम कुछ पढ़ना चाहते हैं, यस, कि हमको एक नई चीज पढ़नी है, हमने बहुत बार सुना है कि आर्डिनो क्या है, और ये आर्डिनो बहुत बार projects होते हैं, Arduino based this, Arduino based particular this project, Arduino based sensors and different applications we are having with. So how to particular how they what we can say configure the different applications with Arduino, and why it is called as Arduino itself. So these all the things we are discussed today. Okay, so in our today's session. Next, this Arduino basically is an open source hardware. This Arduino is an open source hardware and software company project, and we can say that user community that designs and manufactures, we can say that manufactures the single board microcontroller. That single board microcontroller. Hope so all of you heard about this microcontroller, that is 8051, that microcontroller, and that microcontroller kits for building the digital devices. Again, I tell you that is Arduino is an open source. Is it open source hardware and software project? Next, that Arduino board designs use a variety of microprocessor and controller. That Arduino board designs use a variety of microprocessor and controller. The board are generally, we can say that this is the set of digital and analog. In case हम बोल सकते हैं कि हमारे जो Arduino board है, it's a set of digital and analog input and output pins that may be interface to various expansion board, that may be interface to various expansion board or breadboard. That breadboard भी आपने नाम सुना होगा जी. हम breadboard में जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पीपल है और मोस्ट ऑफ आईटी फ्रॉम और कंप्यूटर, इन्होंने प्रोजेक्ट्स किए होंगे या फिर एक प्रैक्टिकल परफॉर्म किए होंगे अपने ब्रेडबोर्ड में. दिस इज द वी कैन से दैट एक्सटेंशन टू दैट ब्रेडबोर्ड एंड आवर अदर सर्किट दैट वी कैन, इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, कि आपको अगर एक वी कैन से दैट आपको एक मोटर एक आपको एक डीसी मोटर है वो आपको रोटेट करनी है, ये सुनो. सो फॉर दैट पर्पस हमको पता, वी नीड दैट पर्टिकुलर, कि हमको उसके लिए क्या चाहिए, हमको एक पर्टिकुलर मोटर चाहिए, उसके लिए उसके रोटेट होने के लिए एक बैटरी चाहिए, ये सुनो. आफ्टर दैट अगेन दैट वोल्टेज रेटिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि आपको कितना वोल्टेज, आपको इनपुट वोल्टेज कितना होगा. अगेन वी कैन से दैट रेगुलेटिंग वोल्टेज कितना होगा, दैट आउटपुट वोल्टेज हमको कितना मिल रहा है, ये सारी चीजें हमको वहां पे देखना पड़ेगा. यस, बट बाय उसके लिए अगेन उसके लिए हमको एक ब्रेडबोर्ड और कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्टली हम ये कर सकते हैं. बट अगर बाय यूजिंग वी कैन से दैट Arduino kit, we are having with this input and output pin, we'll discuss this all the things in a detail. कि आप बोलोगे सर फर्स्टली ये सारी चीजें हमको बता रहे हैं कि इसमें डिटेल्स में हम जाने वाले हैं. मैं एक एग्जांपल आपको बता रहा हूं. दैट इज द थिंग इन आवर डिस्कशन जो आई है, दैट इज द सेट ऑफ डिजिटल एनालॉग input and output pins that may be interface to various the expansion board. Yes, again our question is remain, that is why it is Arduino, why it is called Arduino. I don't know how many of you know on this. This is the very funny thing, but the Arduino name comes from actually this is the bar in Ivrea. This is the Italy. The name Arduino comes from a bar in Ivrea, that is in Italy, where some of the founders of this particular project, used to make that in this bar was named after Arduino. Actually, the spelling is what Arduin in this area. So from जो भी उनकी मीटिंग होती थी रिलेटेड टू दिस प्रोजेक्ट, वो कहाँ पे होती थी, इन दिस पर्टिकुलर बार. अब वहां पे वो नाम था उसका, इसलिए आरडी, तो उन्होंने इसके लिए ये प्रोजेक्ट के लिए उन्होंने नाम दे दिया उसे आरडी. This is this is the history behind that particular. This is the given by Google itself. Yeah, the Arduino IDE again, दो वी इंटरेस्टेड एंड जो हमने स्टार्टिंग में आपके साथ में डिस्कस किया है दैट इज व्हाट Arduino IDE. So what is exactly this IDE? So this is the short form. That IDE is what your integrated development environment. Again, integrated development environment. This is basically what we can say that your cross platform. This is your cross platform application. Again, we'll discuss why, what is the meaning of cross platform. That is again written in what that cross platform meaning of that software we use in a C, that generally that written in a programming language, that C, Java and all. So here this is a cross platform application. From that's why it is called as your cross platform application. So again the question, what is Arduino? So जो चीजें हमने अभी एक ओरली आपके साथ में डिस्कस की है वही सारी चीजें यहाँ पे आपको गिवन है. जस्ट आई रीड दैट पर्टिकुलर, that what is exactly Arduino. That Arduino is a software as well as hardware platform. Arduino is a software as well as your hardware platform that helps in making electronic project. What they suggest, that helps to making the electronic project. It is an open source platform and has a variety of controller and microprocessor. It is basically that variety of controllers and microprocessors we are used here, and it is that helps in making the electronic project. There are various types of Arduino boards used for various purposes, as already I discussed. That there are various types of Arduino boards we will discuss in our next upcoming PPTs. That Arduino boards used for various purposes. That various purposes, that nothing but your applications, though we are discussed. The Arduino is a single circuit board which consists of different interfaces or parts. That Arduino is a single circuit board which consists of different interfaces or parts. The board consists of the set of digital and analog pins that are used to connect various devices. The set of digital and analog pins that are used to connect the various devices. And in that Arduino board, if you see here that Arduino board, we'll discuss that part, no issue. I just read that point, though we already gone through this in oral discussion. जो भी हमारे पास यहाँ पे डिजिटल एंड एनालॉग पिन्स हम यूज करने वाले, that is variety of or that connect various devices from that digital and analog pins and component which we want to use for the functioning of that electronic devices. Next, most of the Arduino consists of 14 digital input output pins. That 14 input output pin. Now, अब ये 14 input output pin कौन सी है? तो ये 14 डिजिटल इनपुट आउटपुट पिन है. लेट मी टेल यू दैट 14 इज व्हाट योर डिजिटल इनपुट आउटपुट पिन. Out of this that 14 pin, that 6 is what your PWM output. That PWM output, ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ में डिस्कस की जाएंगी. ये क्या है PWM, that is what, ये आउटपुट क्या होता है, और ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ डिस्कस की जाएगी. That is the most of the Arduino consist of your 14 digital input output pins. Out of these, 6 provide your PWM output. Next, that analog pin is in Arduino are mostly useful for fine grain control. That analog pin in Arduino are mostly useful for fine grain control. The pins in the Arduino boards are arranged in a specific pattern that other devices on the Arduino board are USB port. Next is what your small component like voltage regulator or oscillator. Next is what your microcontroller and power connector. So we'll discuss this in a detail also, that when we are discussing the board and this all the details pin by pin and this each and every details of this particular Arduino board. Okay, so this is what the basic thing about your Arduino, that when we are started our discussion, so we are discussed why it is called, or the name comes from, that is Arduino, the very basic thing. Because today this is our discussion, that here we are discuss that introductory part of your Arduino. The name itself says that Arduino is a software. If someone asks you, if you really doing this training, no, so just tell me that Arduino is what is mean by Arduino. Theoretically, practically आप भी बता पाओगे कि नहीं सर एक बोर्ड होता है. Yes, that non-technically way that we say that एक बोर्ड होता है. बोर्ड के थ्रू हमारे पास एक वहाँ पे यूएसबी पोर्ट भी होता है, हम उसमें प्रोग्राम डालते हैं, प्रोग्राम वहाँ पे डम करते हैं. उसके बाद में एक हमारे पास कुछ गिवन प्रोग्राम्स भी होते हैं, उसके थ्रू हम अलग अलग प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट वी कैन से दैट समवेयर दिस इज नॉन टेक्निकल थिंग्स वी कैन से, बट technically we have to just we should know about all the details of this board, actually why it is called as board first. Next, in if suppose this board means, first of all, board means हमारे पास में एक माइंड में सडनली क्लिक होता है, दैट इज व्हाट योर स्क्वायर form is one of the thing like in a square form. Let me tell you, this is actually the replacement of somewhere that expert says that this is a replacement to our personal computer. Yes, I mostly says that this is a replacement to your computers. Basically means the most of the things that that your computers has been done is actually done by your Arduino itself. Yes, that various project we can say that whether it is your digital, as already I told you, this is whether it is your digital or what we can say that analog. So next, it is what your Arduino is your project. Arduino is a project or open source hardware, as already your discussion, that open source hardware and the software platform used to design and build the electronic devices that we used to design. I most of the time used to say that this word used to design and build the electronic devices. So for that purpose, you should know about the knowledge about that different types of devices in electronics library. Yes, the electronic devices कौन कौन से हैं, that it designs and manufactures the microcontroller kits and single board interfaces for building the electronic project. We'll discuss this all the details, no issue. The Arduino boards were initially created to help the students with the non-technical background. The Arduino boards were initially created to help the student with the non-technical background. The designs of Arduino boards use a variety of control and microprocessor, the variety of controllers and microprocessor. The Arduino board consists of set of again that analog and digital input-output pins, which are further interfaced to breadboard, that further interface to your breadboard and expansion board, and we can say that our other circuit. Such board features the model universal series bus, that is what we can say that USB. Yet there is the long form of your USB, that is universal series bus, serial bus. Next, what your serial communication interfaces, which are used for again loading programs from the computer, that serial communication interfaces. This for this all the that things though we discussed, that such boards from the model like universal series bus, that is USB, and the serial communication interfaces which are used for the loading programs from the computer itself in a Arduino. So it also provides an IDE, that is what integrated development environment project, that is IDE. If someone asks you what is the Arduino, if you Google Arduino, if you Google Arduino, there are the things like Arduino, Arduino Mini, Arduino Micro, Arduino LT, Arduino Ide. So what are these? What are the different these things in your Arduino? No, so these are all are these Ide. This is what your different types we can say that of your Arduino basically. So it also provides your ID, that is integrated development environment project, which is based on your processing language to upload the code to the physical board, that is nothing but our Arduino board. जो भी physical board यहाँ पे हम use कर रहे हैं. Now this ID integrated development environment, this is basically the software जो already we are discussed that open source hardware and software platform. So this is what your software platform here, that which based on the processing language. So different language again I already told you, that is the C, Java. So to upload this code to the physical board. Next, as already I told you, the different types of your Arduino board. So these are the different types of your Arduino boards. Let me tell you that Arduino board basically there are so many types of Arduino board. Yes, in our next PPT, I'm having with this. Is it visible? Is it visible? To read that, first is your Arduino UNO. Yes. Anyone, can you acknowledge me? Is it visible or not?
Visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for response. So here, so different types of Arduino, these all are. So you can say that, see here from Arduino Uno. So here that Arduino Uno, this was first. Next, what here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Different, what we can say that 18 different types we are having with, that is from Arduino itself. So here we can say that Arduino, next what your Arduino Leonardo, next what your Arduino Mega ADK, Arduino Ethernet, next what LilyPad Arduino, Simple Snap, next what LilyPad Arduino. Basically, next what Arduino Due, next what your Arduino Yun, next what Arduino Mega 2560, next what here Arduino Mini, Arduino Nano, here Mini Nano, here what Arduino next what here LilyPad Arduino, next what here Arduino Pro Mini, next Arduino Tree, next what here Arduino Micro, LilyPad Arduino USB, again the LilyPad Arduino Simple, and Arduino Pro, and Arduino Pi. So these all are your different types of, basically what we can say that Arduino, different types of your Arduino, which are out of which, if you exactly see here, that different these types of Arduino, that basically this LilyPad is having with the different types. Again, this LilyPad having with 1, 2, next what here 3 and 4. So these are the different versions, we can say that. Then expansion, already I discussed that modification or expansion to that particular board. So this is what LilyPad Arduino Simple Snap, LilyPad Arduino, next what your LilyPad Arduino USB, and LilyPad Arduino Simple. So from this, starting from to this up to Arduino Simple Snap, we are having with the generation, we can say that, and the modification to that Arduino board. So basically we are having with these 6 Arduino board. People get confused here. That's why I just wanted to discuss with you and share these 2 PPT, that basically this we are having with the different Arduinos boards. And this is what we can say that types of your Arduino board we are having with this, basically these 6 different types. And out of which mostly that people has done their works and the projects for that in making or to use to design the electronic devices and the projects. Basically they use the Uno, that is Arduino Uno. So here the Arduino Uno, here this is the basic, what we can say that board we are using in our Arduino. Next here what Arduino Mega, as name itself we are using. Next what LilyPad, here what one of the what we can say that board here we use. We'll discuss again next thing why it is called, why these things in our next upcoming sessions. Next what Arduino BT, that is blue again. Next what Arduino Nano and Arduino Mini. So these all are the 6 different types of your Arduino board, out of which today we discuss as example point of view, or the as a basics things of your, or we'll discuss that particular different boards. And here we are discuss that Arduino Uno today. Okay, so from my first PPT, we are gone through the discussion, in a discussion that is, again I recall the term, that is why it is called as Arduino. Next what your Arduino names comes from, here what again the digital and analog input output pins were used to, again to design or to get the outputs from different, what we can say that, to design the microcontroller, and to again use of that microcontroller and a microprocessor to use in a Arduino board. So here basic Arduino board and their pin configuration. We'll discuss that Arduino board, that is Uno board, and their pin configuration. Okay, so started with this. If you see here properly that Arduino Uno, here this board, in this board again, as already I discussed, it is made in a Italy. This is what made in Italy, already Ura, and already I told you that is the name itself from your Ivrea. That Ivrea based in is located in Italy. This is the project is developed, and the what we can say that idea was developed in this Italy, so made in Italy basically. that Arduino, this is a symbol of your Arduino. Let me tell you that when we are started the thing, the basic things, so आपको एक एक चीज बता रहा हूँ यहाँ पे कि आपको बेसिक इसका सिंबल क्या है, जनरली बोर्ड में डिफरेंट थिंग्स कौन से होते हैं, क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं। तो जब भी आप एक प्रोजेक्ट या फिर आप देखते हो कि कोई भी डिवाइस हम लेते हैं, तो द वेरी वेरी सिंपल थिंग इज व्हाट it is already we are very much interested to first initialize or to discuss there in what we can say that different applications. Yes, or next after application, the different uses of that particular board, different devices or that different pins and different what we can say component used by that particular board. So here we are discussed today that Arduino, and their board, their configurations. So started with, if you see here, started with the pins, different pins we are having with that. Already I told you that is digital input output pins we are used here. I started with here digital input output pins, the pin number 2 to 13 here. That pin number 1 is already here, they suggest here. Next what here, digital input output pins, that 2 to 13, that pin number 2 to 13 is your digital input output pins. Next here, that pin number 1 started with this here, that serial in, that is receiver, and serial out, that is what your transmitter. See here, in this particular case we are use this serial in and serial out. Next is what, digital ground. This is basically the ground, digital ground, as you use basic, this is your ground. Next is what, your analog reference pin. This is what your analog reference pin. This basically shown by the name AREF. That is what AREF, analog reference pin. Next, this is what very important term to what we can say that plug or to dump the program in this board, that is USB plug. This is called as your USB plug. This is generally to from your computer itself or from what we can say that serial communication, that already discussed serial communication. The purpose here we use this USB plug. Next here, that sorry, here external power supply. Now see that board itself active, और यहाँ पे हमको board को external power, here board required the external power supply, and that external power supply it may be regulating. Again the people get confused about this operating voltage and the external, or that operate, see that operating voltage and the input, that supply we are used. This is what basically the 3.3 volt power pin and 5 volt power pin. This is your operating voltage, that we can say that voltage regulator. Yes, but external power supply here we can say that up to that 9 to 12 volt, up to we can say that battery DC batteries आती है, वो हम यहाँ पे लगा के इसे हमारे बोर्ड को ऑन कर सकते हैं. That we require the external power supply, that 12 volt battery we can say that. Yes, next here we are having with the reset pin to reset. Yes, next here the 3.3 volt power pin and 5 volt also power pin. We can that operating voltage from 3.3 volt also and 5 volt power pin also. Next, if you require it depends upon your requirement. Now these two are your ground pins. Next, this is your voltage in, this is your voltage in, that is V in. Next, as same as your that and digital input output pin. आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे जैसे ये digital input output pin है on the right hand side of this your board, that pin number 2 to 13. Here are the analog pins, that is 0 to 5, from A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. These are all are your analog pins. Next, as very important, this is what that we can say that your heart of basically, or it may be that people say that brain of your Arduino. This is basically your brains of your Arduino, and this is nothing but your Atmega328 microcontroller. This is your brain of your Arduino. This is what your brain of Arduino Atmega. Sometime in a previous that expansion to this 168, basically आप देखोगे तो Atmega 168 भी यूज करते थे, but here we use the modification to that Atmega 328 microcontroller we are used. So here basically this is the brain of Arduino. The program is again loaded into the chip, and then what we can say the main loop into the power is removed. Here that analog pins from 0 to 5 we are already discussed. That Atmega 328 microcontroller, and what are these microcontroller Atmega 328 at this level? I think all of you hope so familiar with this Atmega microcontroller, heard the name that microcontroller, that also I think आप लोगों का अभी तक हुआ नहीं होगा माइक्रो कंट्रोलर। सेकेंड ईयर लेवल के लिए बात कर रहा हूँ, जिन लोगों को थर्ड ईयर वगैरह है उन लोगों का ऑलरेडी हो चुका है थर्ड ईयर में। सेकेंड ईयर लेवल के लिए बात कर रहा हूँ, दैट इज माइक्रो कंट्रोलर। द थिंग इज व्हाट हियर that IC, basically this is what your IC Atmega 328 microcontroller, and this is what your plays a very important role in this your Arduino. Yes, this is what you are embedded to Arduino. This is very important thing. Next, in this board, next thing we'll discuss this Atmega 328 microcontroller, no issue. That in circuit serial programmer. These three is what your in circuit serial programmer. What is exactly this in circuit serial programmer? We'll discuss this part again. Next, to reset to for this what we can say that board, जो भी प्रोग्राम यहाँ पे लोड होगा या फिर इसमें डंप होगा, उसे रीसेट करने के लिए यहाँ पे एक बटन दी है। अभी बाय यूजिंग दिस रीसेट बटन यू कैन रीसेट दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम जो भी इसमें। और ये प्रोग्राम अगर ये रीसेट बटन हम नहीं प्रेस करते तो प्रोग्राम आपके बोर्ड में कब तक सेव रहेगा? तो क्वेश्चन आल्सो अराइज दैट up to the see that program is in this loaded into that particular chip. That program is no issue, that loaded into the chip and runs up to the main loop until the power is to be removed. जब तक आपकी पावर रिमूव नहीं होती तब तक आपका ये हम बोल सकते हैं the program is to be saved. Next, that very important, as I must say that this is what you are what again crystal oscillator here, what very important, that Atmega series has been that board that we can say that it series has on board oscillator. It is also called as what on board oscillator. That oscillator is basically the crystal oscillator, and it is 16 megahertz crystal oscillator. That is what clock speed. Basically, the 16 megahertz is what clock speed, and this is what your heartbeat of your Atmega chip. Let me tell you. See, as this is what your brain, that Atmega microcontroller. You just imagine that Arduino board is having with this is what your the brain of your Arduino board, and this is the heartbeat. Without this, your board doesn't work properly, or not. Actually, I must say that your board is not working. So this is what your oscillator here. Crystal oscillator, or we can say that is a crystal filtering capacitor also on board, or regulator also. And this is what your the speed of the crystal, it depends upon this chip speed. It determines the chip speed. Here that speed suggests that 16 megahertz, that is the crystal oscillator's clock speed, suggests that 16 megahertz, and that speed of the crystal determines the chip speed. Next, if we discuss about the Atmega 328 series has an onboard oscillator, as already we discussed that onboard oscillator, and that oscillator plays a very important role whenever it deal with your capacitor or this particular frequency terms. So it is very important. Next very important term in this Arduino board, let me tell you, this is what your FTDI USB chip also. So this FTDI USB chip allows Arduino to communicate with your computer. Basically, this is what your FTDI USB chip. This is already you are discussed, gone through that particular. So this allows Arduino to communicate with your computer over a simple USB link for communicating with your USB. As operating voltage, already I discussed the operating voltage, that 5 volt and 3.3 voltage regulator. Here the different filtering capacitors. Next, what automatic switching between external and USB power. As your Arduino can again we can say that the board are relatively, this board Arduino board can relatively inexpensive compared to the microcontroller platform. Here the different for that purpose you need to know about the microcontroller platform. Again we'll discuss that part in a detail, क्योंकि अभी अगर माइक्रोकंट्रोलर फिर से पूरा बताऊं और स्टार्ट करूंगा तो उसके लिए अलग से एक सेपरेट सेशन लगेगा. यस, so this is what your we can say that if you compared with your microcontroller, so this is what we are inexpensive, these boards are very inexpensive the market में. और यहाँ पे भी हम बोल सकते हैं कि here's what the different cross platform, the already you have discussed that cross platform, that software runs on this particular in this cross platform things. Though we already discussed that Arduino Ide integrated development environment is a cross platform application, is a cross platform application that is written in the programming language, in this Java programming language. So or this basically this software runs on this Windows also, Linux operating system also, and it is an open source tool. Let me tell you, this is a open source tool that the team from the CodeMBS this, will tell you these things about this practical and hands-on session whenever they take that or hands-on session. They will definitely tell you the things about the same that available for extension by different experience program. Again, very important term that Arduino can means the two things. That word Arduino, the word Arduino, meaning of this Arduino can mean out of after this discussion, we can say that or we must can say that our Arduino can mean the two things. That first is what? A physical piece of hardware. This is a physical piece of hardware, and the second is what? Your a programming environment. So basically, this is a combination of hardware plus software. Without this, it can't work properly. अगर एक एग्जाम्पल बोलते हैं, मोस्ट कॉमन एग्जाम्पल मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग कि आप अगर गूगल करोगे, यूट्यूब करोगे तो आपको दिखेगा कि एग्जाम्पल उन्होंने एक दिया है ब्लिंक ब्लिंक का. एक्चुअली लाइब्रेरी जो होती है इसकी ये सारी चीजें आपको बताई जाएगी नो डाउट. इसकी जो लाइब्रेरी होता है उसमें और एक्चुअली स्केच में ये सारी चीजें आपको गिवन है. विल गो थ्रू दैट पर्टिकुलर. आई एम हैविंग विद द स्क्रीनशॉट. आई ऑलरेडी टेकन दैट स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर. विल शो यू. सो ये सारी जो चीजें होती है लाइब्रेरी में ये ऑलरेडी सेव दैट प्रोग्राम आपके लिए एक बेसिक प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं ये सेव है. और इसमें आप देख सकते हो कि एक एलईडी ब्लिंक करता है. उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? डेफिनेटली यू हैव टू, जैसे ही हम बोलते हैं कि एलईडी है तो आपको डेफिनेटली एलईडी तो लगेगा ही सर, तो एलईडी हमको लगाना पड़ेगा. नेक्स्ट दैट आउटपुट आपको एलईडी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ आपको यहाँ पे आउटपुट मिल रहा है तो यू हैव टू जस्ट प्लग इन दैट पर्टिकुलर इन आउटपुट डिजिटल इनपुट आउटपुट पिन. Again, that you have to apply the voltage. Next, your the external power supply, and no doubt for that blinking, you'll have to dump or you'll have to save that program in this USB in this board by using this USB link or by using USB plug. Yes. So without, we can say that this Arduino again very if you furnish that definition, of this Arduino, no. So this Arduino can mean the two things. First is what? The physical piece of hardware, and the second thing is the programming environment. So this is what the two basic meaning of your Arduino. Next, this is the extensions to Arduino board. Basically, this is the extensions to that Arduino board. We'll discuss that part, the extensions to that Arduino board, which are that different extensions, meaning of that the modifications to that Arduino board as application point of view. We'll discuss that as a sensors point of view, that applications, all the details will discuss. Okay, so let me, this only for your knowledge purpose here. That is what these all are the your extension to Arduino board, that already you have discussed the different types of the same. Okay. So next, these are your different sensors that we are used in as applications point of view. Here in our Arduino, different, this is what you are very well commonly says that this is your ultrasonic sensors. Here what different IR is your, or we can say that different structure about these or the pin configuration about these sensors as suggest about this already shown on these ultrasonic sensors, that VCC, the trigger, echo, and the ground. These four pins we are having with that VCC, trigger, echo, and the ground. You'll have to just connect to that here on this board again. So this works on the basis of that as application. Here we can say that Arduino is acts as a here or sensor here, or it works on the basis of that. So here the different sensors we are having with the second here, what we can say that different sensors again. Yes. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Payal. I just wanted to know, is it audible or not? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So next here, after this sensor, again, next here we discuss that features of your Arduino Uno. The different features of your Arduino that already have gone through the same that features of Arduino Uno. That this is what the already I told you, this is what your heartbeat, or the main, we can say that the brain of your Arduino. This is what microcontroller Atmega 328. That operating voltage is 5 volt and 3.3 volt. Here the operating voltage is 5 volt and 3.3 volt. Here input voltage, that recommended input voltage is 7 to 12 volt. So no need to confuse about this operating voltage and input voltage. Don't be confused here. Input voltage again, here this is operating voltage, we can say that regulator. This is what your regulating voltage. Next here, that input voltage, this is the recommended. Next here, what input voltage that limits from 6 to maximum 20 volt. Next, the digital input output pins, digital input output pin. Out of this, the 14, actually total these 14 pins in this board, you can see here the total 14 pins. Then from 0 itself to 13, so total it's 14 pin. And here out of these 14 pins, that six provide the PWM output, pulse width modulation. Here what the PWM output that six provide, this is again as word itself, so that's a digital input output pins. So this 14, out of which this six provide the PWM output. Next, analog input pin. Next is what your analog input pins. That analog input pin A02, already I told you that A02, A5, that six here we are having with analog 0 to 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 6 pins we are having. Next, DC current. This is very important. We are already gone through the voltage and these terms, but current not discussed. This is the DC current per input output pin is what 40 milliampere. Yes, DC current per input output pin is what 40 milliampere. Let me tell you, this is what the very important features. If you are interested to design or develop any project or any simple example, no, you should know about this, all the detail about this. You should know about this, all the details of the features, or we can say that features of Arduino, because that configuration, or that we can say that synchro about these two components is very important. So here the DC current for 3.3 volt, that pin here DC current for 3.3 volt pin, that is what 50 milliampere. As here we are having with the flash memory, here we are having with the flash memory 32 kilo as Atmega 328. Next, what SRAM, that is one of the memory we are having, that is again 2 kilobytes. So again Atmega 328, and the EEPROM is 1 kilobyte, that is again Atmega 328. So in this Atmega 328 we are having with the flash memory, that is 32 kilobyte. Next, what SRAM memory, that is what 2 kilobyte, and EEPROM 1 kilobyte. And already I told you that is what the crystal, here what we are using, the crystal oscillator, where the frequency that is 16 megahertz, that is the clock speed. That clock speed is what 16 megahertz. As already I told you that at mega, that speed of the crystal determines the chip speed. Here that chip speed determines by the that speed of your clock, that is oscillator. So these are the different features of your Arduino, Next, we have already gone through these terms that analog pins we are having with and how many digital pins. That analog pins जो भी हमारे पास है हम discuss करेंगे, that is A0 to A5 जो 6 analog pins है, उसमें power pins. Next what V in 5 volt, that ground pins 3.3 volt, and other pins like AREF and reset. Already I told you that is what your AREF EF. Let me show you where it is. That AREF, this is what your analog reference pin, that is AREF, and reset. This is again important pins as analog pins. Next, digital 14 pins as we are having with this serial 0, that is receiver, serial 0. 1 is your transmitter. In this digital 14 digital pins and 6 your analog pins. So here I just uh, discuss with you the different analog pins, and here the different digital pins we are having it. So here that serial 0 receiver and 1 transmitter. Next what here the external interrupt, that 2 and 3 are your external interrupts. Next what here 2 and 3. Next PWM by using 3, 5, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10 and 11. This by using this 6 as out of this 14, out of this digital input 14, 6 provide the PWM output. So out of these 6 14, that 6 pins provide the PWM. So वो 6 pin कौन सी है? So this pin number 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 and 11. These are your, this pin shows that your PWM. So next is what your BT rate raised here, what 7. Next what is here what 10, 11, 12 and 13. Next here what LED, that already is shown by here again by 13. Next here pin number 8. These all are your digital pins. Or this 14 total 14 pins, and out of these all are your 14 digital pin. Next, that Arduino is a platform where we can say that basically जो Arduino के ID है, why it is already I told you that is a cross platform. Basically, this is what your cross platform, and that cross platform application that is written in programming language, that Java and all these cases, and this is a integrated development environment as hardware and software. So typically, if you're talking about the software, no, so Arduino is a platform here. The Arduino software, that is Ide. I already told you this is Ide is what integrated development environment, and is a cross-platform application allowed to write the programs and upload them, that are allows you to write the program in a C Java and upload them to your board. The language itself is based in typically or basically these programs in a C. Let me tell you, this is programs जो भी हम यहाँ पे अपलोड राइट करते हैं प्रोग्राम और लिखते हैं, वो कौन सा होता है कि कौन से लैंग्वेज में होता है, that is in C. So next what here, that quick blink from test, that is what here LED. Here what we can say that जो LED हमने 13 pin बोला था, this is what the LED. And here's what we can say that by using this USB link, और यहाँ पे हम यहाँ पे USB कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, जो हमने बोर्ड में यहाँ पे देखा है कि यहाँ पे हम USB प्लग, so you can plug that particular USB by using this. This is what your power LED should stay on. This is what power, this shows that your power is on basically. After that, again the details about this Arduino, will be discussed with you by our team. So this is the thing about your different Arduino board. Basically, we started about, again I recall that started with our different types. We have discussed the different types of this Arduino board. These 6 different types. Again, these all are why it is categorized in a 6 different types. Basically, these all, and these all are get summarized and categorized into these 6 different what we can say the Arduino board. Next, these are the pin configuration of Arduino boards. After that, we have discussed that Atmega328 microcontroller is basically the very important thing in this Arduino board. This is what the again brain of your Arduino, and this is the crystal oscillator is heartbeat of your Arduino board. These are the different modification and extensions to that Arduino board that are again different sensors as application point of view we have discussed. Next, what features of Arduino, the different features we have discussed. Started with your microcontroller, after that operating voltage, input voltage. Next, what again, your digital input output pins. Again, that current, in terms of current ratings also we have discussed. That memory, that flash memory, there are the microcontroller itself has what we can say, that flash memory, SRAM and EEPROM. Again, that crystal oscillator as your heartbeat of this Arduino. This again, clock speed is what crystal oscillator is having, the 16 megahertz clock speed as the chips speed also determines. And after that, जो हमने यहाँ पे चीजें बोली थी कि हमारे पास 6 एनालॉग पिंस है और 14 डिजिटल पिंस है, वो कौन कौन से हैं, ये सारी चीजें हमने यहाँ पे डिस्कस की हैं. Next, that Arduino Ide, that is what Arduino Ide is, what your platform here, what we can say that software we are used. This is what basically the software. This is the open source software. You can easily download that particular. I'll discuss with you. Just wanted to discuss with you कि हम कहाँ से इसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ में हैंड्स ऑन पे ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ में डिस्कस की जाएगी. ओके. और हमको प्रोग्राम कैसे लिखना है, प्रोग्राम आपको डन कैसे करना है, उसके बाद में आपको आउटपुट कैसे मिलता है, सारी चीजें आपके साथ में डिस्कस की जाएगी. आफ्टर दैट, दिस ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड यू दैट connect to the USB cable. Next important thing is what your functions of your Arduino board. In this, there are 9 important functions. Basically, these 9 important functions in the Arduino platform. In this 9, out of these 9 important functions, that first is what your pin mode. And this is what your pin mode configuration. Here, pin mode that configures a digital pin to read input or write output a digital value. Basically, this pin mode, that important functions. हम बोलते हैं कि by using that functions, function का काम क्या होता है? That functions operates that particular Arduino board. So here, important functions, 9 important functions we can say that of Arduino platform. In this pin mode, that pin mode configures a digital pin that is to read input. अब read कर रहा है तो input मिलेगा, और write कर रहा है तो आपको आप output देगा. Yes or no? This is very logical. That configures a digital pin to read and or write a digital value. Next important function is what your digital read. So in this digital read pin that reads a digital value, and word itself shows that reads a digital value, and here that high, that value of digital value है तो high or low means of the either 1 or 0. So high or low on a pin set for input. So this digital read pin reads a digital value high or low on a pin set for input. Next, that digital write pin, here the read pin and write pin. So that write pin value writes the digital value, again this high or low, and basically we are discussing the digital, no? So digital में here दो ही numbers मिलेंगे sir, 1 and 0, because computer knows about these things. So here we are having with the write the digital values high or low to pin set for the output. So digital read pin है तो यहाँ पे on high or low value मिलेगी to set the input, and digital write pin because of your pin mode configuration shows that here. So write the digital value high or low to pin set for the output. Next, that analog read pin. जैसे यहाँ पे digital read pin है, वैसे हमारे पास analog read pin है. That analog read pin reads the value from specified analog pin. Analog read pin reads the value from the specified analog pin, and analog write writes an analog value to a pin. So analog read pin and analog write pin. In this analog read reads the value from the specified analog pin, and analog writes an analog value to pin. Whereas this serial print L, this serial print IN value, this serial print IN values here that prints the value to the serial monitor. That word itself shows that, sir, serial print in value here prints the value to the serial monitor on your computer. This is for serial communication, though we already discussed, and in a detail आपके साथ में ये सारी चीजें एक 1 week में आपको ये बताई जाएगी. You will definitely go, no doubt कि आप अगर आपको थोड़ा सा ये फास्ट और ये हो रहा होगा तो आप ये सारी चीजें आपकी कवर होने वाली है, no doubt. Serial, next is what serial dot begin. Again here baud rate said that the data rate, the baud rate is nothing but your data rate in bits per second, that baud bits per second for serial data transmission. The transmission gets out that the baud rate here what serial data transmission, and in this serial dot begin baud rate function shows that the data rate in a bits per second for serial data transmission. Okay, so these are what the important functions. These are all are the important functions of your Arduino. Let me tell you this 9 important functions we are discussed in this year in Arduino platform. Started from your pin mode, that is pin mode configures the digital pin to read, that is for input output, as already we are discussed as a logic says that the read to read it is input, or to write it is output for digital value. Next we are having with the important function that already I discussed, the digital read pin that reads the digital value high or low. As digital we are discussing 1 or 0 on pin set for input. Next digital write that writes the digital value high or low to pin set for output. And next as well as we have discussed that analog read pin, analog write pin, and serial print and serial begin. So these are the different 9 or the functions we are discussed in our Arduino board. Next, that how to download and install that Arduino Ide, that you can say that we are having with this link. By using this link और that जो भी hands on आपके team लेने वाली है आपको बताएंगे. I just discuss with you or share the some PPT with you that by using or that by following these steps you can easily what we can say that download that Arduino Ide, which is cross. Already you can say that this is your cross-platform application. This is cross-platform application, and this is a software ID, Arduino Ide. So here the different procedure to download and install the Arduino Ide. Next, this is the basic window of your Arduino Ide. Let me tell you, this is the window. This is your menu bar. Again, this is what your menu bar having the file, edit, sketch, tools, and help. In this menu bar, started with your file. Next, what your edit, sketch, tools, and help. Next, what your button bar here, the play, or we can say that stop. Next, file, save. Your what we can say next, first, or to right, left, or different buttons we are having with on this button bar. And this is the for program for already I told you that blink. This is a screenshot of this. Next, this is the serial port and the board. Next, the tools is having with the serial port, that COM1 port or COM12 port. These all the details, no doubt कि ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ में डिस्कस की जाएगी. जैसे कि मैंने बोला था कि बोर्ड में ये सारी चीजें आप देख सकते हो. आर्डिनो जो आर्डिनो के डिफरेंट टाइप्स हमने देखे थे उसमें कितने सारे स्टार्टेड विथ योर लिली पैड. Next, what your Arduino Uno. Next, what Arduino LT, sorry, BT. Next, what your Arduino Nano, Arduino Macro. Yes, this all the different board is and their what we can functions is available in this ID. That is what cross-platform application. So out of which we are interested in Arduino Uno. So that Arduino Uno here, that board and selected. If you see here the properly the second screenshot, that tools having the board and Arduino selected. So functions of this function. Next, what Arduino, if you see the flow of this Arduino with your sketch in this menu bar, there is a one tab that is what sketch. Okay, so here you can see file, second आहे तुमचं edit, third आहे तुमचं sketch, tools आणि help. So out of this, if you go with the using Arduino, if you don't with the write your sketch, so press compile button. Next, what to check for errors. Next, what press upload button to program Arduino board with your sketch. And next, what your that blink sketch. So here the different programs and the different examples we are having with, no doubt. I just wanted to discuss with you the examples point of view and the ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ में discuss की जाएगी. Okay. So any doubt up to this? This is what the basic introductory. Today we discuss the introductory part of Arduino. Started with the definition. Started with why it is called as the names come from Arduino to the functions or the features or important functions of Arduino in our today's session. So yes, if you are having with all of you, I just ask to all of you, if you are having with any doubt, you can ask me openly. If you ask me, yes. Is there any doubt, all of you?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, do we need to buy that Arduino hardware for this session?
Hello. Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yes. Audible. Audible. बोलो. बोलिए. बोलिए.
Sir, do we need to buy that Arduino hardware for this session?
I think Sushil sir answer you this particular question. Yes, Sushil sir.
Sir, you don't need to buy any kind of hardware kit. We will be going on a simulator called as Tinkercad. Any other simulators that are free to use and online resource. All you need is your net connection. कोई भी हार्डवेयर खरीदने की इस बार गरज नहीं है आप लोगों को. कोई भी हार्डवेयर ऐसे हम लोग यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल नहीं करेंगे. अगर आप लोग देख पाओगे टिंकरकैड या फिर सर कैन आई शेयर माय स्क्रीन प्लीज. Okay, I guess my screen is visible
Yes.
to you all. We will have something like this. एक वर्चुअल सेटअप हम लोगों ने किया हुआ है, उसी के ऊपर में हम लोग पूरा लेंगे. इसमें आप लोगों को कोडिंग अगर आता है तो थोड़ा बहुत कोड भी चलेगा. अगर आप लोगों को कोड नहीं भी आता है तो हम लोग ब्लॉक वाइज करेंगे. मीन्स क्या होता है, ये देखो जैसे मैं अभी स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों के सामने. यहाँ पे आप लोगों को ब्लॉक्स है, टेक्स्ट है, दोनों है. अगर आप लोगों को कोड आता है तो ओके यू कैन गो फॉर द कोडिंग साइड. मतलब ये वाला साइड आप लोगों को खुद से लिखना है या कैसे हम लोग वो भी आपको बताएंगे कि कैसे आप लोग कोड कर सकते हो बेसिक से लेके तो पूरा एंड तक. और अगर सपोज आप लोगों को यहाँ पे नहीं जमता है कि नहीं भैया कोड नहीं जम रहा है तो हमारे पास में बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स है. मतलब यहाँ पे आप लोगों को किसी भी प्रकार का कोड नहीं करना पड़ेगा. दोनों वे से मैं आप लोगों को सिखाऊंगा जिससे आप लोगों को परफेक्ट लगे. आप उससे सामने चल सकते हो और आप अपने आउटपुट यहाँ पे क्लियरली देख सकते हो. जैसा अभी मैंने यहाँ पे एक ब्लिंकिंग का कोड किया हुआ है, सिमुलेट करूंगा. अब देख पा रहे हो एलईडी ब्लिंक हो रहा है. ऐसी और से जो भी सेंसर्स रहेंगे, अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर है, आईआर सेंसर्स है या क्लैप सेंसर्स है, जो भी हम लोग 10-15 सेंसर्स लेंगे उसके साथ में जैसे इंटरफेस करना है, उसी के साथ साथ एक और से प्लस पॉइंट ये रहेगा आप लोगों को इसी में एक ऐप कैसे बिल्ड करते हैं. जैसे अगर हम लोग एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेते हैं स्मार्ट होम ऑटोमेशन का. अगर स्मार्ट होम ऑटोमेशन करना है तो मेरे पास में मोबाइल ऐप होना बहुत जरूरी है. तो वो मोबाइल ऐप कैसे बनाना है ये भी मैं आप लोगों को ये 7 डेज सेशन में पूरा सिखाऊंगा फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग टू एंड. ऐसा कुछ भी प्रीरिक्विजिट नहीं है और किसी को भी हार्डवेयर लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. आई रिक्वेस्ट किसी ने भी कोई भी हार्डवेयर इवन एक सिंगल वायर भी आप लोगों को लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. सब कुछ ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है, हम लोग उसी का यूज करेंगे. ओके, इज योर क्वेश्चन आंसर्ड?
Yes, thank you.
एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? आप लोग अपने माइक ऑन कर सकते हो, नो इशू. If you guys have no doubt, so we will stop for the session. We will meet tomorrow at the same time, 2 o'clock. Okay, hope to see you there.